Well, folks, we're doing something a little bit different. We're actually going to go out night fishing tonight and see what we can do. There's some birds diving way out there. And we're going to run a little bit offshore. There's a storm to our east, but I think it's going to stay there because we have what we call the sea breeze. So the sea breeze is keeping, there's a, what they call is a, what do I always call that thing? The outflow. There's an outflow boundary and it's pushing right where that storm is. So I'll see if it's still on my phone. If it is, I'll take a picture of it or see if I can. I don't think I can video it, but anyway, we're gonna see if we can catch bait here on this flat. Primarily looking for pinfish because all my buddies are telling me that if you want to catch a big snapper right now, they're eating pinfish, or at least inside the bay, that's what they're eating. So we'll see. Jiggy! He's stonewalling you. What we're using for bait?
It's gotta be right here.
Nice gag. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jiggy.
Nice fish, buddy. Could be my first keep.
I'm pretty sure he's going to keep.
I think so. Nice.
Hope he's all right. Well, folks, last night we went out to do a little bit of night fishing coming off that full moon, and the bite was absolutely horrible. Started off really strong with Rich, aka Jiggy, getting his first ever keeper gag, and I thought, okay, the sun was going down, everything was starting to happen, and then as soon as the sun went down, it was like a light switch, nothing. We sat out there till about 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I finally just said, guys, it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna happen. And so we were 27 miles offshore, so we had to run 27 miles in, actually 27 and a half miles, and then another 25 miles in, and about halfway in, about 15-mile mark, luckily there was a storm, but the storm was just to our south, so we were able to make it in okay, but the air temperature dropped about 15 to 20 degrees, and it made it for a chilly ride in, so you didn't expect that. But anyway, I'm going to go out and try to redeem myself today just to get some content, because we've been slacking a little bit on content, so I want to make sure that I get some content for you guys, and going out by myself allows me to kind of be a little bit more of a teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and go catch bait, kind of go through that with you a little bit, see what I'm looking for, and then we'll go and fish and see what happens. So hopefully we can get some content and get some fish in the boat today. All right, folks, we got a pretty good mixture of baits today. We've got white bait and greenbacks. I was able to find some really nice greenbacks on the flat, and so I was able to get enough just to go fish with for a couple hours and see what we can catch. But right now the tide's incoming, and I'm sitting on this ledge right in the middle of the channel, and I'll go over that here in just a minute to see if we can't get a fish on first. Son of a Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm taking this pinfish and hooking them right through the bottom, up through the top, just like that, and sending them down. Let's see what we can get. I just got broke off. That was a good fish. I have my drag a little bit loose because when I go offshore, I don't like to have it too tight up there because I can finesse them a little bit more. Here, you got to get them up. At least he didn't break me off. Just that fast, damn. Now what I might do is I might test out a couple of different things because this tide is moving, but it's not screaming to the point to where I'm like, oh God, I gotta go as heavy as I possibly can go. Like right now I've got 1 1/4 on there, but I'll probably drop down. I had 3/8. I'll probably drop down just a little bit and see if I can get it back a little bit, because like I said, when I set up on that spot, I set up off of it just a little bit, knowing that I can come back to it. So that's probably what I'm going to do is get back on a little bit lighter jig, get it back a little farther, because I am set up just off that mark by about 30 feet. And that's exactly how I want to be set up, because if I was set up right on it, then I would pass by it. So I want to be set up out farther away from it so I can drop back to it. And that's why I'm thinking that the heavier might not be the ticket. I might have to go back to a 3/4 or even an ounce or ½ ounce. Ooh, it is warm out here. God bless America. No wonder why we wanted to go night fishing last night. The weather was beautiful outside that one storm, but the fishing sucked. It was bad. Oh, it was so bad. By the time I got him. Gag. Little gag. Spitting up all kinds of stuff. Well, I had to change positions. Mr. Dolphin showed up. So I came out to this area. It's a nice little gag. So I came out to this area that I have marked, but I've really never fished it before. It's some very small ledges, and I'll go through it and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't show any fish, but I could see the ledges on the side imaging, and that's the key, is having an understanding of what you're looking at. Okay, this is exactly what I was talking about, was this right here. This actually was not even the spot. This is actually a little bit of a new ledge, but I'm gonna run you by the spot and show you exactly what I was talking about. But see all this in here? I don't even have that marked. I'm gonna mark that. See this ledge right here? There's more stuff over here to the left. I'll mark that. That is the edge of the ledge right there. Mark that, so I have two different places. So I have a place, as you can see here, there's a nice ledge right there. I'm probably gonna end up fishing that one. Like there's a small ledge right there and right there. There's another ledge right there. So I've got these 2 points, 28 and 436 marked in sequence, simply because that's where the ledge runs, this way. So I always mark like the beginning and the end of the ledge. There's a little bit of the ledge there. We're over hard bottom on this side. Now we're coming up the ledge. See how it goes in like this? Now we're coming up shallower. So it tells me that we're right on the ledge itself. Now I don't necessarily want to, I don't need to mark fish. In the bay, it doesn't matter to me if I'm marking fish or not, but as you can see, I'm marking fish. So it's not really a concern. You can see coming off this ledge here, you can see the difference there. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that because that's a little bit different. Sometimes you want to mark as many different spots as you can within an area, because that will help you understand, because sometimes you just got to shift over. So there's more of a mark there, coming up a ledge, there's the ledge right there. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and fish this one first. See how I have 2 waypoints right in here? So what I'm gonna do is probably get right in the middle of those. Now we have an incoming tide, so I just wanna get a little bit ahead of them. Let me come down here. Okay, I'm as tight as I could possibly go. You can see the ledge right here, so I'm gonna go right about there, get ahead of it, and then I'll hit the trolling motor, and then the trolling motor then will come back at about 15 feet, 15, 20 feet. So that's gonna bring me back to that waypoint and be exactly where I wanna be. You can see where I'm right on the edge of that ledge. So as soon as the trolling motor gets set, then I should be almost right on that dot or pretty close to it. I was tired of playing around with them, so I put down a big pinfish because I was getting hammered pretty good. So I knew I had some decent fish down there. Sure enough, there's a decent gag. Hammered that big old pinfish. Not a huge one, but hey, this tide's moving. I went to a ball jig. I was getting hit on the Stewie, but I just couldn't get hooked up. So I switched to the ball jig and bam. So I'm gonna send down another big pinfish, see if I can get a keeper gag. Yeah, this current picked up, and so I went to a ball jig and to get it down, especially with these big pinfish. They'll swim like this one's swimming with 2. Huh? Did he come off? He came. How did he come off? Son of a biscuit. Good thing I got a bunch of them. But as I was saying, these pinfish, if they're big, they'll have a tendency to swim with that 2-ounce weight. I might even drop or go up to a 3 ounce, but this tide's, what time is it? 12? This tide's still got a little bit to come in, so I'm only gonna fish for a little bit longer. Go home and get my pool. It's hot, but that breeze finally kicked in, so that sea breeze kicked in, so it's making it nice. Like that pinfish just got to the bottom. So again, I'm up above my point because I didn't want to be right on it, because this tide is moving. Even with this 2-ounce, it's moving pretty good. I put a whitebait down there and he got annihilated. It's getting bigger. I was going out looking for snapper, but hey, if I catch grouper, I'm gonna catch grouper. I don't discriminate. He's got some other dead fish in his throat. Pretty gag. Now this is why it's so important that I use lighter braid, is because when this tide's running like this, it can create a loop in your line, and it will cause you not to feel your bites. Like I can feel my bites, oh, right there. But that's why I use such light braided line. And most of the time you're not gonna get cut on your braided, you're gonna get cut on your leader. And yes, we use 20-pound leader, but we get a lot more bites. All I'm doing is taking that whitebait and hooking it in the belly, dropping her down. The funny thing is, you know, last night we went out night fishing and I thought, oh man, we're gonna do pretty good, because it's coming off the full moon and everything, and beautiful weather. We get out there, Rich catches that keeper gag and went downhill from there. The last couple times offshore have not been really good for us. I think these fish have moved just so deep. Snapper right there. That they're not. I don't think that's a snapper. That they're just not feeding very well. But I gotta say, inside the bay, they're feeding. Yeah, that's a gag because he's twirling. Still not a keeper, but getting closer. But like I was saying, for some reason that offshore bite just hasn't been good for us. But this bite today, I've caught more fish than I did all of last night fishing from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 6 hours. But it's, you want to, well, maybe not, another gag. But finding small stuff, and I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. Finding stuff like this that's not so obvious holds a lot of fish. And it doesn't have to mark fish. Now these aren't the biggest, but there's some down there, I know there are. Okay, so basically what I did is these are the numbers that I just put up. So I'm ahead of them just a little bit, which is perfect, so I can drop back to it with this tide. So let's go ahead and see if we can catch some fish. These are new numbers for me, so I'm pretty excited to see what they hold. God, in this current, it's a totally different animal when you're fighting them. It's, ugh. And just like that, folks, I found a new spot. Another grouper, tiny one. But hey, that's okay, it's another spot. My bait was almost as big as him. But that's why I say it's so important to think outside the box when you're looking at your side imaging and looking at your sonar. It gives you a better idea of what you're looking at. You want anything that looks odd, especially in the channels or on the edges of the channels, you definitely want to try to fish, because if there's a little mark or something there, then there's definitely something abnormal in that area. So if you're going along and you're marking things that are just like little lines like that, all you have to do is stop and fish them. It doesn't hurt to stop and fish them. If you don't get bit, you don't get bit. But if you do, you do. That's the thing, is you don't know until you try it. And I found so many new spots like that. That just by looking at something that's a little out of the ordinary and then dropping down on it is key. So if you're out there and you're looking at your depth finder and trying to find new spots, remember that. If it looks different, try it. It won't hurt to try. Well, folks, I hope you got a good understanding of what kind of to look for, especially on your side imaging. It's very important that you take the time to learn what you're looking at. And when we start doing these consulting trips, the more that we do, that's the #1 question we get asked is, well, I don't understand my electronics. And that's probably one of the hardest things to get, is the electronics, understanding what you're looking at. And then I think the next hardest thing is getting the boat set up. So as you saw how I set up the boat with the incoming tide like it was, I got ahead of the marks and dropped down, and by the time my bait got to the bottom, even using a 2-ounce ball jig, it was right where it needed to be. So we caught a ton of gags, didn't catch any snapper, but I didn't move around too much. I just primarily was going out just to show you guys what I'm looking for. And as we are going through here, I'm seeing more ledges that I don't have marked. So I'm gonna mark that one. And also a key thing too is being able to go at it in different directions. Kind of, if you see something on the shaded relief, go at it at different directions and see if you can pick it up, because sometimes going one direction you won't pick it up, but you go a different direction and bam, you pick it up. So it's very important that you go, if you know that there's some, or think that there's something there, go over it a couple of different directions to see if you can pick it up. And so I just found a new ledge as we're sitting here drifting, talking to you guys. So again, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. I'm sorry that the night fishing episode didn't come out very good, because we just didn't catch a lot of fish, and it happens. It happens all the time. Not all the time, but it happens sometimes to where we just don't do very well. And you know, sometimes I need to share that a little bit, that we don't always go out and kill the fish, but we learn lessons just like everybody else. I told Chad and all the guys on the boat the other night, I said, if I recommend going night fishing again, punch me in the face, because we've only had like one good night fishing trip. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.